By your art, my dearest father, you have set the wild waters in this roar allay them. The sky, it seems, will pour down stinking pitch, but the sea, mounting the welkin's sheet, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should the good ship so have swallowed and the frothing souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, the day.
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee. Of thee, my dear one. Of thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, nor knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of this full poor cell, and thy no greater father.
More to know to never meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time. I should inform thee, father. The direful spectacle of the wreck, which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have with such provision in mine art, so softly ordered that there is no soul, no, not so much perdition as an air betid to any creature in the vessel, that thou heardst cry, that thou sawest sink. And thou must now know, father.
You've often begun to tell me what I am, and stopped and led me to a bootless inquisition, concluding, stay, not yet.
The hour is now. The very minute bids thee ope thine ear. Obey and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can.
By what? By any other house or person? Of anything, the image, tell me that which have kept with thy remembrance.
'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hadst, and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark, backward and abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here thou mayest.
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda. 12 years since thy father was the Duke of Milan and a prince of power.
Sir, are you not my father?
Well, thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter. And thy father, Duke of Milan, and thou his only heir, and princess no worse issued.
Oh, the heavens! Well, what foul play had we that we came from thence, or blessed was it we did?
Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, we were heaved thence, but blessedly hoped hither.
Oh, my heart bleeds to think of the teen that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you further.
Well, my brother and thy uncle, called Antonio, I pray thee mark me that a brother should be so perfidious. He whom, next thyself, of all the world I loved, and put to him the manage of my state, as at the time through all the signories it was the first, and Prospero the prime duke, being so reputed in dignity, and for the liberal arts without a parallels, these being all my study, the government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. And thy false uncle, dost thou attend me?
Sir, most heedfully.
Having once perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance and who to trash for overtopping, new created all the creatures that were mine. I say, or changed them, or else new formed them, having both key of officer and office, set all the hearts in the state to what tune pleased his ear, that now he was the ivy which had hid my princely trunk and sucked my verdure out on it. Oh, thou tendest not.
Good sir, I do.
I pray thee mark me. I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind, with that which but by being so retired or prized or popular rate, in my false brother awaked an evil nature, and my trust, like a good parent, did beget in him a falsehood in its contrary greater than my trust was, that had indeed no limits, a confidence sans bound. And being thus lauded not only with what my revenue yielded, but with what my power might else exact, like one who having into truth by telling of it, made such a sinner of his memory to credit his own lie, he did believe he was indeed the Duke, out of the substitution, and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative. Dost thou hear me?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between this part he played and him he played it for, he will needs be absolute Milan. And me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalties he thinks me now incapable, and confederates so dry he was for sway with the King of Naples, to pay him annual tribute, do him homage, subject his coronet to his crown, and bend the dukedom, yet unbowed, alas, poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping.
Oh, the heavens.
Well, mark his condition and the event, and tell me if this might be a brother.
I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wombs have borne bad sons.
Well, now the condition. The King of Naples, an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens my brother's suit, which was that he, in lieu of all the premises of homage, and I know not how much tribute, should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all the honours on my brother. Whereon a treacherous army levied, one midnight fated to the purpose, did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness the ministers for the purpose hurried hence me and thy crying self.
Alack for pity. I not remember how I cried out then, will cry it over again. It is a hint that brings mine eyes to it.
I'll hear a little further, and I'll bring you to the present business which now's upon, without the which this story were most impertinent.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Well demanded, wench. My tale provokes that question. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore me, and nor to set a mark so bloody on the business, but with colours fairer painted their foul lands. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, and bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not reed nor tackle, sail nor mast. The very rats instinctively acquitted. And there they hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the wind whose pity sighing back again did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
A cherubim thou wast that did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I had decked the sea with drops full salt under my burden groaned, raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, then being appointed master of this design, did give us, together with rich garments, linen, stuffs, and necessaries which since have steeded much. So out of his gentleness, knowing I love my books, and furnished me from mine own library with volumes I prized above my dukedom.
What I might but ever meet this man.
Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island are we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made in thee more profit than other princesses can, that have more time for vainer hours, and tutors not so careful.
Heaven thank you for it. I pray you now, sir, for 'tis till breathing in my mind your reason for raising the sea storm.
Know thus far forth. By accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now my fair lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore. And by my prescience my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence if I court not now but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. It is a good dullness. Give it way. I know thou canst no longer choose.